Hello, my name is Ethan Davidson, and I want to talk about um, a few things. So I myself have a few disabilities. I have Asperger's syndrome, dyspraxia, hepatitis C, and cirrhosis of the liver. And I've used meditation, insight meditation, Vipassana meditation to cope with these various difficulties. So, um, well, I had difficulty as a child, bad spelling, bad math, bad sports, very articulate and very high reading comprehension, bullied by other children, and under a lot of stress. At the age of 12, I started abusing drugs. At the age of 18, I started abusing intravenous drugs. At the age of 23, I got into recovery using 12-step programs. At the age of 35, I found out I had hepatitis C, but I was still very energetic, not athletic because of my coordination, but energetic and fit. And and so it didn't seem like much of a problem to me. I took up the Buddhist meditation in 2001. So do the math. I was born in 1962. I was about 38. And and then in 2003 I went on an 8-week silent Vipassana retreat where I came into contact, worked through a lot of my, I would consider it really, trauma from having been bullied as a child and so forth. At the end of that retreat, they opened it up for silence, and I spoke to a woman who worked with autistic children. She told me that she'd been watching me the whole 8 weeks and was pretty confident that I had Asperger's syndrome. So I went home, Googled it, and found that I did in fact have all the symptoms of Asperger's syndrome. So I identify as such, not formally diagnosed, but I am formally diagnosed as having nonverbal learning disabilities. And I've been on SSI most of my life since 18, so that says something, because I'm reasonably intelligent, but yet have some difficulties. Anyhow, life was going pretty good for me for a few years, kept up with my meditation, a bit fatigued, especially in the afternoon, but still pretty active. And then I went to a doctor, and he told me I had very significant liver damage, cirrhosis, fairly advanced cirrhosis of the liver. So I prepared to get on interferon therapy, which I'd been avoiding. They didn't want to give it to me at first. One doctor recommended I get on it, and then another doctor said no. They misdiagnosed my learning disabilities as hepatic encephalopathy. They thought I had encephalopathy, which is the result of advanced liver disease, and that my brain wasn't functioning right. But it was just doing the same thing it was always doing. My brain was not affected by the disease. Not yet anyway. So, anyhow, I went on interferon therapy eventually, even though one of my doctors tried to block the process because of my learning disabilities and the fact that I live alone. And I was very emotional for a whole year, crying a lot. I let myself cry a lot. I deliberately channeled my energy into my emotions into crying, so I wouldn't rage and be angry as much. Interferon makes you very emotional, period. But I kept up my meditation. I tried to remember that everybody in the world develops health problems at some point. Tried to channel my emotions into compassion and tried to use body awareness to know when what I thought was something wrong with my body was really just something my mind was doing, a game my mind was playing with me. Anyway, after a year, I did not clear the virus. My liver was too damaged for them to give me a full dose, so I could not clear the virus. I have been off treatment for nearly a year and recovering from it, really. It takes a lot out of you. And waiting for the next generation of drugs to show up in 2011. And then recently doing a little research and finding out that my physical clumsiness and difficulty with machinery and so forth is beyond what's normal for Asperger's syndrome, and realizing also that I have dyspraxia, which makes it difficult even for me to use computers. Dyspraxia, which I had a therapist think that I had a long time ago. She was right. So those are my issues, those are my problems, and that's the main technique I've used to deal with it, the cultivation of body awareness and compassion through Buddhist meditation techniques. Thank you. Goodbye.